Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina. And today we're going to be talking about a little YouTube channel called H3H3. And if you haven't heard of them, it's a channel run by Ethan Klein and his wife, Klein. They've been around for quite some time. It's a very funny channel. It's a podcast, but they also do other things as well. Anyway, I used to watch them for a long time. I was even a member of their channel for a time. But somewhere along the way, they got woke. They became incredibly progressive, and they're in an echo chamber, very audience captured, which I get it, make your money. But they're so woke that they're no longer funny. They're just sad. And I wish Ethan Klein could come back to his old original funny, humorous, edgy self, but I think we're long gone now. So Ethan was on the Bradley Martin's Raw Talk podcast, and they asked a couple questions to Ethan, and his answers were so cringy that I had to do a video on it. It's so bad. So let's start with the first question they're going to ask him.
I want to talk about the trans boxer more.
Well, okay, so then let's... Hold on. Before that, let's ask that question that Moist Critical was asked about the 9-year-olds. Like, do you think 9-year-olds should be given like gender affirming care or cutting out
so
their...
I have thank you for asking that, because it's a very complex question. The thing is, like, no, 9-year-olds should not be getting life-changing sex change operations. But the thing is, it almost never happens. The one exception that I think should be considered is like if a psychiatry and a medical board, if a child has attempted suicide or has shown that they're going to attempt suicide, which sometimes it is that bad, and the doctors conclude like the best way to try to treat that, to keep them alive, literally to save their life, is to perform some kind of, but I don't think kids under 18 even get like top or bottom surgery. They'll take like hormone replacement and stuff like that.
Lies. This rarely happens. It never happens. That's a lie. There's so many detransitioners out there now who are telling their stories and saying they started on puberty blockers very, very young, under the age of 18. They started HRT, testosterone, estrogen, way before the age of 18. Double mastectomies definitely happen before the age of 18. All you have to do is pull yourself out of your echo chamber and do the research. Because it's happening. It's happening so much that there are lawsuits happening right now because these underage kids were preyed upon by doctors and the progressive left, were convinced that this would help them, got the surgeries, took the hormones, and realized it didn't help them. They detransitioned and then realized that the stuff that they were telling them would never happen, happened. Like, for example, they said, puberty blockers are reversible. Blatant lie. It's not reversible. Hormones, not reversible. Listen to some detransitioners. Let's take Chloe Cole, for example. She's the biggest one. She got on hormones, got a double mastectomy at 15. Her voice is deep. It changed because of the testosterone. Her voice will never go back to a female voice. It is forever changed. Reversible? I think not. She got a double mastectomy at 15. Now, the progressive left will have you believe that these kids know what they want and they understand the ramifications. They don't. And they're not being told this because this would be going against what the progressive left wants, which is more people transitioning so they can line their pockets. It's very, very sad to hear someone like this who has millions of followers tout out this bullshit when he has no idea what the hell he's talking about. When all you hear is one side and you don't hear the other side at all because you just assume that everything they say is bullshit, you better believe you're not getting all the facts and you're getting lied to. And unfortunately, he is touting this to millions of followers. It's disgusting because it is happening. Chloe Cole can never go back to have her normal breasts, her original breasts. She can, if she wants to have a baby, I don't even know if she can. Because the puberty blockers and the hormones make you infertile. They sterilize you. Can she ever have a baby? Probably not. And if she did, she can no longer breastfeed. That one special important thing that a mother has to connect with her baby, she will no longer have. 15-year-olds don't know that they're going to want kids in the future. Now, when he talks about this Transitioning will save these kids' lives because they're suicidal. Yes, it does help some, but the problem is that the doctors and the psychiatrists, the psychologists have to affirm this child's gender. This child could be going through a lot of other stuff, but they can't question. They can't question to find out what else is going on underneath this gender confusion. Are there other comorbidities that this child has that may have led them to decide going down the gender transition route? Was it friends? Was it school? Was it their teachers? All this stuff. They're not allowed to ask these questions. And because of that, the real issues are going overlooked, and they're transitioning these kids. And the kid automatically believes that the adults know better, and so they're listening to the adults. And the adults don't know better. If gender transition surgery worked so well, why are there so many young people detransitioning? Why are there so many lawsuits going on? But Ethan Klein will never ask those questions. He can't. That would go against his base, his fan base. So he has to tout this bullshit. And unfortunately, his fans will believe him. It's disgusting.
That's still
puberty blockers now.
Well,
Yeah, puberty
the
blockers.
hormone replacement is what he's speaking to, but that's still like very life altering at such a young age.
So apparently taking hormone blockers is not life altering. If you go off it, your body resumes.
But at that age, you're
God. The one thing that pisses me off the most is these are arguments the left used 5 years ago, which means that he hasn't heard anything new about what's going on in the new studies and how other countries are turning their backs on the whole gender affirming care thing and the gender surgery for children. He doesn't know about any of that. He just blatantly believes these lies being touted because they are being spewed by the side he agrees with. That's fucking dangerous. Puberty blockers are not reversible. Dr. Marcy Bowers, the biggest gender surgeon in the United States, says that they will be infertile. They will never have a normal sex life. I can't go into any further detail than that because I'll get demonetized. This is coming right from the mouth of the surgeon. Right from the mouth of the surgeon. And yet he is saying they're reversible. Really? They're not. They're not. Take it from someone who's done the research. Don't listen to the guy who doesn't know shit and is touting arguments from 5 years ago that have been completely demolished by facts.
body is still.
But I don't think kids should be taking hormone blockers or getting surgery.
Because
But the thing is,
Charlie related it to like picking a sport.
but Charlie again, he was not prepared to talk about that topic.
He was about to say he was not educated. Neither are you, Ethan. You are not educated. You cannot be educated about a topic when you are ignorant to all of these facts, statistics, detransitioners, all this stuff. You cannot be educated on the topic when you're only hearing from one side that wants to push it. How are you getting all the facts? By that side, by your audience, by your crew. Are they doing any research or are they just blatantly believing whatever the people who are pushing it say is true?
And he represented, I think, trans people really poorly.
Yeah.
So there are trans people, young trans people, who are suicidal and their lives are at risk. I mean, trans people, their rate of suicide, you know what it is of trans people? 50% of all trans people attempt.
But is it before or
suicide.
after the change?
Before.
Before?
Yeah.
Okay. Another lie. Because I know people who do the research, as well as myself. And, well, Ethan, what we found was this. A new study found a significantly higher risk of suicide attempts, self-harm, and PTSD for individuals who have undergone gender transition surgeries. The study published in April found that individuals who have undergone gender transition surgery had a 12-fold higher suicide attempt risk than those who had not, a statistic that sparked significant attention online Friday. The study was conducted using data from 90 million U.S. adult patients between the ages of 18 and 60. It did not include minors. Research examined emergency rooms, treatment data. The results showed that 3.5% of those who had surgically transitioned were treated for suicide attempts compared to 0.3% of non-transitioned patients. Medically transitioned patients were also treated for suicide herself at 4.5% and PTSD at 9.2% compared to 0.5% and 1.2% respectively for non-transitioned patients. And you can I'm going to put this article, which was posted by the Washington Examiner, in the description below so you can read it yourself. So you can go through the study yourself. Good. I'm so glad that we're all on board with this. So, Ethan, get your head out of your ass. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And it's dangerous for you to be saying this. Transitioning is not a fix-all. You are medicated your entire life. Everything is changed for you, especially little girls, bro. You have no idea the kind of information that you are spouting and how dangerous that is to children who are very confused about their gender right now because they have other shit going on.
Yeah.
50%?
50%.
That's their life.
Attempt it.
Okay.
Attempt or die. Like that's pretty staggering.
Yeah, that's how I mean.
So like
really mental.
these are one of the most marginalized group of people that are extraordinarily misunderstood and the target of a lot of like culture war right now. And these are people that are already like 50% are attempting suicide. So young kids, let's say a 7-year-old, has tried to kill themselves. So if a medical board and a doctor and a psychiatrist have come together and they're like, he's going to kill himself, then I think in this rare case that we can make exceptions.
A 7-year-old make exceptions? Do you really believe that all the doctors are on board with this? They're all like, yes, let's transition the 7-year-old because they're suicidal. You think really that is a wise choice? You actually believe that all these doctors are on board? Have you ever done any research into the Tavistock Clinic or JIDS in the UK? If you did, you'd know that there is not an overall consensus agreeing that gender transition helps children. There is not. You've been told a bunch of bullshit and your ignorant progressive ass is believing it. You have kids in your fucking audience. You shouldn't be saying this shit. You don't know what the fuck you're saying. The shit that you were being told that you were spouting right now is shit from years ago where everyone was like, oh yeah, rainbows and sunshine, transition children. No, the studies are coming out. Other countries are backpedaling. Why do you think that is? Because there's a giant overall medical board consensus and all the doctors are on board? No, it's because it is not good. They are seeing the blowback. They are seeing the repercussions from the patients, and they're pulling back on it because they know it's not helping. It's doing more damage, and so is your mouth.
But you should know that in the United States, and this is why this conversation, I think, is so...
It's fragile.
I think the conversation is like a monster red herring because in the United...
God damn, how much CNN are you listening to? Listen, if anyone says anything bad about children transitioning, it's a red herring. It's a right-wing talking point. I've heard this shit before. I'm not right-wing. I'm not biased. I am for researching and learning the facts. Do you know how many books I fucking read on this shit? Do you know how many studies I have read on this shit? So many that I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that what I am saying to you is 100% the truth. Unlike this
United States, per year, kids get like sex change operations. It's like single digit.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole country.
Well, that was what I was going to say to you.
It doesn't happen.
We're talking about...
My head wants to explode. It doesn't happen. Really? Why don't you go find some detransitioners who transitioned when they were younger? How about you ask the trans men and women who transitioned when they were younger? From the mouths of the detransitioners and people who have transitioned, stating facts that they transitioned before the age of 18. Are you saying they're lying, Ethan? Because they're not. You are being lied to, and you are lying to everyone else, dude.
Talking about, right? Like, there's a way bigger population of kids not trans that deal with the same that we don't give.
What does that have to do with anything?
We don't give them nearly the attention.
You think trans people want the attention? They don't want...
Yes, bro, they do. They do. Why do you think it's so popular to be trans all of a sudden? Why do you think that I've heard stories of girls who have transitioned just because all of their friends have transitioned And they're popular because of it. Why are so many dudes who just recently decided that they were going to be women, why do they have millions of views on their TikToks now? They want the attention. What the hell don't you understand about that? They want the attention. The people who don't want the attention are people you don't see because they just want to blend in and live a normal life. The people oh my God, I feel like an Italian mother. I just want to slap them around or hit them in the fucking ass with a wooden spoon or a spatula.
They don't want the attention.
You don't think so?
No.
How
They
can
just
you
want to live. How can you say that? They just want to live
No, I
their
mean
life
in the
and
sense
feel
where
normal.
it's like it seems like the entire community's pushed on us
Hold
regularly.
on. I don't think you're grasping with this. This sex change of kids, it doesn't happen.
Oh, dude, just stop talking. Oh my God. What he's saying is that that these people who have detransitioned or transitioned when they're younger, the horrible they had to go through when they were younger never happened. They don't exist. These people don't exist. You trans people, you don't exist because it's not happening. Yeah, it is happening. They are real people. They are going through and you need to fucking apologize. I used to like him. Come on.
Okay.
In the U.S.
So what do you think?
Single digits. So why are people so obsessed
So why is
with
Gavin
it?
Newsom? Because
Passing a
Gavin
law.
Newsom's passing a fucking law, which is fucking ridiculous, and that's why
What is it?
that now, and please correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but now that in the school, if a kid goes to a teacher and says, "Hey, you know, I'm thinking about transitioning," something along those lines, they're not required to tell their parents, which is bullshit, and it actually pisses me off.
I'm not. I don't.
That's the
I'm not
thing.
familiar with the law.
Yeah, that's something
Like,
they're
how
passing.
the is that a scenario? And it's actually
'Cause that's a weird
devastating.
thing.
Well, so
because-
like, what? Imagine. I don't know the law, but let's do a mind experiment with it.
Let's do a mind experiment, Ethan. Let's see what bullshit spews out of your mouth now.
Okay.
Imagine like a 16-year-old from a super conservative family.
My God, dude, people who are kids who are thinking about transitioning, not all of them come from super conservative families. You want to talk about a small percentage? That's a fucking small percent. Jesus. I want to strangle them. I do.
Is like, I think I'm gay or trans, and I don't know what to do about it. They're confiding in a teacher who they trust, who understands them like their family doesn't. So is it possible that like telling this child's family, you can put them at risk, you could put them in like really grave mental
He's really trying. He's really trying, but you know what? You're going to fail. So just stop talking. See, if you saw a video that I did not too long ago where an adoptive mother was talking about how her daughter transitioned and the parents weren't told about it, and she got fucked up, manipulated by predators online who were calling themselves trans and saying that they could help. She was held captive and trafficked. Now, if only the parents knew, but no, can't tell the parents because they might be hard right-wing conservatives. They can't help your daughter like I can, the teacher who doesn't live with them. No, that's just one instance. No, you could say, well, it's only one instance. Well, he said it's not happening, so I guess it's not happening, but it is. It's happening. That story right there is just one story that we've heard of. Keeping information away from parents because you automatically assume that all parents are right-wing conservatives that won't accept their child for who they are or who they think they might be is downright outrageous. That mentality is outrageous. Are a lot of parents great? Probably not. Are they evil? Do they lock up their children in a church and make them pray? Probably not. Small percentage probably do. But to create a law that automatically assumes that every child's parent is evil and the only way they can be protected is by the state and by their teachers is disgusting. And it's wrong. Because once the child becomes a ward of the state, do you know what happens? Do you know where they go? What do they call? They don't call them orphanages anymore. What do they call them now? They call them something. Okay, we'll just say, so they go to orphanages. Have you ever heard any good stories about orphanages where the kids stay when they don't stay with their parents? Foster families. Ever heard any good stories? Very few. Most are horrific. And most of the time, the child doesn't want to be there because they can be Do you know what happens to a little girl who decides to change her gender and she goes into an orphanage? Do you know who she stays with? The boys. And do you know what happens to that little girl who thinks she's a boy, who is housed with boys? I don't think I need to say. because you already know the answer.
You put them in a terrible situation. You can imagine like a conservative family,
Yeah, no,
what they
that's a
think
good
about
point.
being gay or trans. So I think it's mostly, again, to protect people on the margins. Again, because there are people on the margins that really do just get it so badly.
And what about the people who aren't on the margins? What about the people who have loving families? What about those kids who have loving parents but aren't informed and have no idea what their child is going through when they're in school? What about them? Don't give a shit about them, right? Or it's not happening. Yada, yada, yada. I gotta say, I do feel bad for the guys who are asking these questions because they don't, I don't know if it's they don't have the balls, but they don't have the information necessary in order to chime back at him for all the bullshit that he's been spouting. I wish they did. Maybe it's because they want to keep it simple. Maybe I don't really think so, but maybe they want to, keep a tight relationship with him. I'm not really sure, but I was hoping for more pushback than I heard from these guys. I was hoping for more, and it's just kind of a letdown. Maybe it's because Steiny is more of a feminine guy. He's a little bit more weaker. Bradley Martin definitely isn't, but I don't think he has the information necessary in order to set Ethan in his place. He's atrocious. Anyway, that's it for me. That's all I can take from Ethan. Used to be a great guy. Used to be funny. Used to be edgy. Used to be a real person. Now he's just a caricature of who he used to be. It's sad. Anyway, like and subscribe. Join our memberships for early access to our videos, uncensored content, prioritized commenting, amongst other things, of course. Comment below if you have any other information you would like us to learn about. And take care of yourself, each other, and watch your kids.